Greetings, fellow kaiju enthusiasts. Tiki here,
And BlueDragonFive!
and welcome to the Kickback Cafe, the show where we kick back, relax, and talk about anything non-Disney related. Yes!
Yeah.
How the hell are you doing, BlueDragonFive?
I'm reasonably well.
Reasonably well. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, BlueDragonFive, last night, a certain movie kind of premiered to the masses and opened officially wide today. It is a movie that I have personally been looking very much forward to. It is Godzilla 2014. BlueDragonFive and I have both seen it, so we're just going to run down and kind of go through and say what we think of it. Should be an interesting discussion.
Sure, but before that, though, let's talk about what comes before the movie.
You gotta talk about the trailers, right? You gotta talk trailers.
Well, let's not go through all the trailers. Let's go through the one that stood out the most.
But BlueDragonFive, you actually did not get the Interstellar trailer in your theater. I think that's like a real ripoff. I'm like, oh man, I'd be pissed.
Well, that's because I have kind of like I have two theater options, and one of them's a more of a trek to get out to, and that's where it would be. But I kind of have like the low rent one that's still it's convenient, so you know.
Oh, I hear you. So they
that
don't
one,
get, like the big trailers like right away.
It's either that or they just really the people don't care, so they don't put the. It's a little bit of like you really.
To me, it was like. To me, it's like the Interstellar trailer. Like, this was as much part of the event of the evening for me as Godzilla was. Like, I was going in there, and I was just like, freaking new Christopher Nolan trailer that I have not seen on YouTube 10 times before.
Well, look, pretty much just this, let's just say this theater, I could walk in. They don't have people to take the tickets. You just walk in, find your theater, it's on the ticket. That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay, I hear you. That's great. So the Interstellar trailer.
Yes.
This is the new post-Batman film from Christopher Nolan.
Now, I gotta say, I knew pretty much nothing about. I mean, last thing I heard about Nolan in regards to his future of films after Rises was that he was thinking about doing a sci-fi film or maybe like a Howard Hughes biography or something.
Ooh, the Howard Hughes biography would be interesting, but the sci-fi movie we got.
Yeah, I mean, I knew nothing about this. When you told me about it, you said that Christopher was. I'm sorry, if it was you or it was a friend of mine. I think it was you, though.
I'm pretty sure I told you about it.
Yeah, it was you. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something else, someone else. But yeah, you mentioned Christopher Nolan doing a new movie called Interstellar, and I was saying, Interstellar, I thought it was like the other thing where like there's this little cutesy alien robot thing. And I thought, oh, that's Christopher Nolan?
Yeah.
But they said no, it's something even more awesome. And I said, okay, well, I mean, I'll see a trailer for this. And I did, and I was caught, and I went in this completely fresh, and I was impressed.
All right, so you want to kind of just recap the trailer a little bit, just kind of go through what we saw?
Well, I literally saw this like 10 minutes ago, so I mean, forgive me if I'm not
that's okay.
as photographic as I usually would be.
It?
Well, I mean, let me go through what I remember, and you can fill in the points. Essentially, what I gathered from the trailer was that we're seeing Matthew McConaughey, who is now in good actor mode. Kind of it's a kind of a tightrope with that guy sometimes.
Yes, but he is now in the trenches of the reconnaissance. All right.
That's a funny term. I like that. In the reconnaissance. While he's in the reconnaissance, it seems like he's a loving father. He's got a daughter. Seems like a good child actress.
Yeah. Let me go on.
I'm interested to see, because Christopher Nolan, he works with kids, and we don't see a lot of them, and this kid looks like he's got more of a focus in the movie, so we'll see how that goes. But the point is, a little girl bonding with her father, and from what I gathered, the planet's in trouble, because McConaughey is essentially saying, like, what's the term, Murphy's Law, which, from what I gathered in the trailer, I know there's like I forget what the real term Murphy's Law means.
Well, it's mostly like everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Right. Oh yeah, because that relates to RoboCop. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's the pun on RoboCop. His name's Murphy, and things do go wrong. Right. Just a little refresher. But yeah, so Murphy's Law. He basically said exactly what you just says what's said in the trailer.
Right.
And he basically says, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and then basically things do go wrong. We see like the planet's in shambles, apparently like a lot of dust storms, people wearing like surgical masks, so it looks like plagues and stuff are breaking out. The point is, from what I gathered, the atmospheres failings, bad things are happening on the Earth, and the plan is to
There's a
go.
lot of corn imagery. I get the sense that corn is very much in danger of just not being a natural resource for us. Like, so a lot of allusion to like food, just food being wiped out, stuff like that.
Yeah, thinking about Chris Nolan, we're getting a lot of we're getting some cool imagery and stuff without really any of the film being spoiled for us. I think it's the first trailer, so I really
no, it's the first real trailer. There was a teaser trailer that was just basically like, "Woo, look, rocket goes up in space."
I mean, I don't see any real big spoilers for the film yet, so that's good.
Well, no, and also I just want to say, like, how refreshing
Nolan's usually good. Nolan's trailers are usually good like that, though.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
But how refreshing is it that, speaking of not spoilers, BlueDragonFive, I cannot tell you how sick I am of these big trailers that come out, and instead of actually waiting for the movie to come out, they just, we're just going to dump them on YouTube like a week before, then everyone will watch it. And it's like, first of all, I don't mind the trailers being released the same day as the movie theater, but I think if you want to have the chance to get that big screen experience, you shouldn't have to wait like a week and avoid spoilers for a trailer. Because it's like, with me, it's like every time a big trailer comes out that I know is going to be attached to a movie in like a week or so, it's always that like, well, I guess I better watch it just because everyone's just going to be talking about it. So, I don't know. I found it very refreshing that they actually waited until the day Godzilla came out to release this online. What do you think about that?
I guess you have a point there. I don't know. You're right. The big screen experience is a rare commodity when you do get to experience it the first time on that big screen. It is awesome when that happens. But, no, as long as you see the trailer in the grand scheme of things. But you do have a point. You want the cinema magic there. But the caveat is sometimes you have to see movies you don't want to see and get a really good trailer.
Well, right, and that's why I say, it's like at the very least, I think what they did here, having the trailer online the same day, was a good strategy.
That's probably, that's a better strategy in all retrospect, though. As long as you see the trailer, period, I guess that's really what matters. But yeah, you're right, though. Same day and just on screen if you can manage it would be a good idea.
Exactly. So, all right. So, what else do we have in this trailer?
Okay. Anyway, so from what I gathered, so things are going bad on the Earth, kind of unknown and cryptic as to what specifically. But yeah, corn looks to be in danger, so that's not good. People in surgical masks, and then I think it's proposed by the government or someone. It's proposed by around a table that we have to turn to space. You can go interstellar, so to speak, and no one's good with the one-word
Wall-E, right?
What?
Did I get a Wall-E type vibe from this movie?
Pretty much Wall-E, yeah. Well, I mean, the idea always existed before Wall-E, but Wall-E did it best.
Yeah, I know, but
it's funny. Now Pixar is getting ready to do a Christopher Nolan type movie called Inside Out now.
Oh, Jesus, right?
Christopher Nolan's doing
and that's like basically like Memento, the Pixar movie. Oh, God. Oh, heaven help us.
Regardless, they're pretty much kind of like how Inception's a really cool one-word title that kind of relates to the film. They got the same thing going here. We're going interstellar.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going into space, and from what I gather, they are pulling a Wall-E and pretty much we're going to colonize on another planet somewhere to launch into space and get off the planet. That's really all they said in the trailer. We're going to get off the planet because it's in bad shape. So I hope they have some place to go, so I'm assuming they have another planet, perhaps the moon or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that. No, I think it's like, as far as I know, it has to do with wormhole travel. Like, that's a big part of it.
Well, that I saw like some weird, some cool looking space stuff. I didn't see wormhole stuff. It might have been a wormhole though. I saw space imagery like on a board somewhere. It looked like I think that they were showing like a model of what they were doing. It looked kind of like
right.
So you got a point there. Regardless, so basically, so the plan is go into space, and from what I gathered, McConaughey mentioned something about he's a pilot of some sort, and then they show that he's going to be an astronaut. Mm-hmm. If I'm correct, because I saw another image. This image wasn't in the trailer, or I missed it because it was really fast. But I also saw Anne Hathaway is a fellow astronaut.
Yeah, she's in there. She's in there for like it's really quick. It's like literally like a 1 second shot of her. But yeah, she's in there.
Yeah, it's good for her. She's a good actress, and now Christopher Nolan using her. Like Christopher Nolan's. I like it. Christopher Nolan uses people he's familiar with.
I'm excited about Jessica Chastain myself. I think she's kind of rising up in the ranks there.
However, I think a lot of people just kind of instantly predict he's like Michael Caine's pretty much the John Ratzenberg for Christopher
Oh, of
Nolan, pretty
course.
much.
Definitely.
But yeah, Michael Caine's in there, which is cool, and see how that goes. It'd be nice if we got Cillian Murphy in there because he's always good.
Or speaking of transitioning into Godzilla,
Ken Watanabe.
Watanabe.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's always good, but I mean I don't know. Again, they're welcome additions, but the point is
Ken Watanabe spouting cryptic narration.
No, I think he might fear he's going too much Inception-y with the cast, but yeah, he's got to. Be nice to see Tom Hardy again though, because
Oh god,
Dark Knight Rises. Another one.
Tom Hardy's
something
got
like
a couple really interesting projects online, but I digress.
Or bring back Christian Bale because he's used them a few times, give him some work,
Yeah. All right, so just really quickly, just what do we think of this trailer before moving on to Godzilla?
Overall, so yeah, basically they're launching the space and like that. He says, "I'll be back," telling his daughter, "I'll be back." He says, "I got a family," telling the government that. So I guess the family gets like first boarding on the new planet, I guess. So regardless, that's pretty much the trailer. So I liked it. It was mysterious enough that I love the score to it. I absolutely adore it.
Right.
I hope that is the score for the film. I really do.
Well, it's definitely going to be another Hans Zimmer work, so that's always exciting.
So regardless, I just hope that that score remains for the film because it sucked me in instantly because I love Nolan's trailer music. Again, my favorite trailer of all time is the third trailer, The Dark Knight Rises. So I'm really interested to see the third trailer to this.
The one thing I'm kind of hesitant about is that I'm kind of a little concerned that people are going to draw comparisons between this and Gravity.
Actually, interestingly enough, it didn't spawn to my mind because I don't know, it seemed different enough in Gravity.
Well, yeah, it's both stories about. I guess with Interstellar, it's more about like space exploration, where Gravity is more about space survival.
Well, the thing is, like, we start out on the ground, like when he says, like, they blew a tire, and I think he was lying about it.
Yeah, the first act's definitely going to be all. The first act actually kind of looks very. It's almost like it's kind of homaging like Wizard of Oz in a way, where it's all just going to be like cornfields and whatnot, and then by the time we hit the second act, it's just going to be like visual eye candy of space.
Well, my assumption would be that I could entirely be wrong here, but I'm just saying like basics could be that you have three wonderful art settings, if you will, or sets, if you will, just on Earth and like the luscious fields of Kansas or whatever.
Right.
Act 2 is like you're in the wondrous government base. Like the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory of the government base.
Yeah, I hear you. And then
like
Act 3 is like. I don't know, man. I think they're going to go. I think we're going to see space more. I think we're going to space.
I'm saying we'll probably be in space in the second act, but I'm just saying in general, like it could go that way. Like you're in the wondrous government, and just like you're waiting for them to build the device of their salvation.
Right. I hope they don't build it up too much because I really want them to get up there. But
well, anyway, so yeah, the overall, I love that score, and just there was just enough in this trailer to really get me into it. So I was thinking like. It is kind of like an Inception vibe, but I think just what they showed in the trailer of them like on the ground, I think it's going to be more about getting. I mean, they will get the space obviously, but I'm saying we're going to be more invested in the people than just the spectacle that is Gravity.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely, and that's that's the thing that Christopher Nolan always does really well. Like even with something like Inception, it's like you're really invested in. In Leonardo DiCaprio's character, and the thing with his wife and getting back to his kids and everything.
A little similar to Inception in that regard.
Right.
Kid. I mean, literally in regards to Inception, but yeah, I'm thinking like Gravity. So I can't really make the official judgment, but it looks more like it's sold on spectacle than good story. And Nolan looks like it's kind of the reverse of that. Like spectacle, the spectacle is there, and you're gonna love it, but. You're going to get invested in kind of this human story of survival in terrible conditions, kind of the hope that's going to spawn through that.
Definitely, yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping for that, and I love that build, and I want to see Nolan do space, see how that goes.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, you think it's funny because Nolan just seems like the type of guy where it's like, just based on his past work, you would think he would have a sci-fi movie under his belt, but he really... Well, I mean, I guess Inception is definitely sci-fi, but it's not sci-fi in the sense of like, going out into space kind of sci-fi.
It's like sci-fi caper film. That's what Inception is.
Right. So it's like, just to handle like
You know, I gotta say,
Like just
caper
a dead
films.
serious kind of Ridley Scott kind of sci-fi.
Yeah, I gotta say, caper films are awesome.
Yeah.
My Batman's gonna have a caper film coming out soon. I'm really interested to see how that's going.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
All
so
right,
yeah, overall.
so yeah, I'd say it's safe to say we're both pretty excited for Nolan's Interstellar.
I'm glad. This surprised me. This is being made and coming out. Is it this year? It's coming out.
Yeah, this year, November.
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
coming out this year. So I'm looking forward to it. Could be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy birthday to me. Yeah.
All right. So do you want to get to the big man himself?
Yeah. Oh, let's get to him. Godzilla.
Gojira. The theater I was in just flat out started cracking the hell up when Ken Watanabe said Gojira for the first time. They were just like, I don't know. Like, I'd like to think it was like actually like hardcore fans, and they're like, "Oh, ha ha ha! It's a reference to the original, cool," and not just stupid high schoolers who are like, "Oh, he's a Japanese guy and he's saying it wrong."
Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both in that regard. Like, oh yeah,
probably, yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking more it's like laughing at the fact, oh, we said the name.
Right. Just
I
like,
don't think it's much. I think it's like, yeah,
casual fanboy gasmine.
I'm thinking recognize and say, oh yeah, he said Gojira, like the original, or I think it's more so that just the consensus, not looking into kind of the undertones of that. Like, oh,
I mean, they really play up the Gojira thing in the frickin' 1998 one too, but I know they definitely do it.
That was like an Asian guy in a boat, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he had like post-traumatic stress disorder, and all he could say was just like, "What happened? What did you see? Gojira, Gojira, Gojira."
God lizard. No. But anyway, so yeah, before we get into the meat that is 2014 Godzilla, let's go back in time, if you'd be so kind. Let's go back to 1954, if you'd indulge me for a brief moment. Now, we start the film in 1954 anyway, so I might as well go back to it. There's a brief history on Godzilla. Let me preface it this, and I'm not sure about you, Tiki, but let me just say this for myself. Not a huge Godzilla fan, really. I mean, I know we all know who Godzilla is. He's an icon. Who, interestingly enough, is technically a Marvel Comics property at one point.
yeah, that's very true.
Fought the Avengers.
Oh God,
that did happen. For a brief time, Godzilla was. I learned that officially from Captain Logan. I remember an Avengers fight, and I was thinking, no, it's just the Godzilla look-alike. But no, that was in fact really Godzilla.
Wouldn't that be wonderful if they somehow found a way to work Godzilla into Marvel? Oh my God.
I mean, that's another crossover we're never going to see.
Oh God.
But anyway, so overall,
that's a threat. Now that's a threat that it would take the whole Avengers team to take down. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, Hulk. Maybe. Okay, it would take the entire team, so you're right. I kind of took down a Godzilla-ish thing in Avengers.
Well, I've got some points to make about that, but
fine. Anyway, but let me just finish my preface here. Just let me say, so I'm not a big fan of Godzilla. I know the character. You know, it's a cool character. I see what people like about him. You know, he's a monster you root for to fight the other monsters, and interesting stuff. In the first film, he was a monster going around destroying stuff, and just the sheer kind of the fear of this great, wondrous beast. I get that, and there are many people who are uber fans of Godzilla, and they know the films like the back of their hands, and just saying, I'm not one of those guys. So if I get anything wrong, if we get anything wrong,
I mean, I'm definitely not either. Like, the thing is, like, you know, they had a big Godzilla section at my local video store. I definitely like kind of rented them on rotation. There were several that I would watch more than others. Like, I definitely remember watching the Mothra ones a lot. I remember watching King Ghidorah a lot. But there's also a lot of them, I'm sure, that I just have no recollection of. So
right, but let me say this: I'm more of a novice to Godzilla than you are, Tiki, because I've educated myself on Godzilla and the history. Yet I have not really watched. I've seen clips, but I haven't watched the full film of any of Godzilla, except maybe except perhaps the first one once. But you know, there are versions of that, so I saw like the original maybe once in my lifetime.
Okay.
Well, I'm familiar with the character to an extent, so again, don't lynch me if I get anything wrong. But overall, I'm just passing. So I really went into this clean to the whole Godzilla franchise. Something to keep in mind, really.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much this is the first full-length Godzilla film I watched, and well, I guess the Matthew Broderick one, but I knew that one was
God.
I've seen the Matthew Broderick, and I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen clips of the original, so I know the history and for the most part.
We just. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just want to make that clear. Anyway, so it's a brief history here. I know the origins of Godzilla. So the creation of the property. Essentially, in 1954, they were nuts about the nuclear test, and that after the big Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs.
Right.
Right. So they're big on that. They're always perfecting the bomb, getting the more powerful one, yada yada yada. Man destroying man. You get the gist. And a tuna fishing boat from I believe Tokyo was sailing out, and they kind of landed in these test sites. And what happened was there was a new bomb that was made. It was a 15 megaton, I believe, hydrogen bomb that was, as described, more powerful than Nagasaki and the Hiroshima bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Very powerful, 15 megatons, huge. At that time, very powerful. And essentially, it was really overpowered and really radiation heavy. And they didn't anticipate this when they dropped the bomb. And unfortunately, this poor little tuna fishing boat happened upon the testing water, so it dropped. And luckily, the fishing boat was intact. However, at the time, they didn't really account for all the radiation. This is truly when the people learned the effects of radiation.
Right. Sure.
And essentially, these poor tuna fishing boat guys, they got there and said, "Let's get out of here!" And they did do that. However, they couldn't avoid kind of the invisible plume, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And that invisible plume included very tiny bomb fragments, and it resulted in gray radiation dust. Very harmful. Back in the day, we didn't know that much about this thing. It was the first time it really truly affected stuff. Like, we knew what a radiation was. We didn't know how the tiny amount of radiation could hurt you over time or infect everything.
Right. Exactly.
So basically, it's a plume of gray dust hits them, and they come back. So they're saying, "Let's get out of here." Unfortunately, they kind of brought that with them, and the fish, everything's covered with this gray dust, and they didn't think much of it. But apparently, it gets in their lungs and everything, and they get radiation poisoning. And let's just say that kind of, governments kind of disliked each other because of that, and more bombs. In essence, just what was spawned out of this is people getting the next power with nuclear or atomic bombs. It's going to end up in hurting the world overall, and that kind of spawns the message of Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Something in essence I do like about the character, how he just kind of exemplifies that message of he did come out of this war of power over man, out of this war between I'm more powerful than you, and I'm pushing the bounds of what is safe, and we're gonna create a monster, and that monster being personified in the form of Godzilla.
Yeah, right. It's all about, it's literally just kind of a big allegory about the power of the atomic bomb. You know what I mean? It's
Godzilla is a very smart concept when you really think about it, though.
Sure, absolutely.
It's not,
Toho definitely took it in very silly directions as the franchise went on, of course.
Something I gotta give to the Godzilla is he is kind of one of those iconic figures, along with your Supermans and your Batmans. He was really just Superman and Batman for Japan, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was good. He was that figure, and he did exemplify those as principally Superman's for hope, Batman's for kind of hope for the better.
Yeah.
Batman's drive, Superman's hope, Spider-Man's great power, responsibility. You get the gist. Anyway, so yeah, Godzilla was that symbol, and he got films, and that's where the popularity came from. Anyway, for this film, let me get into the history of this film, and we'll get into the film.
Yeah, sure. Just a little note, man. I don't really have a lot of time because my parents are going to bed, so maybe we should instead of doing recap, just kind of do pros and cons of what we like about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that. I just got a glaring look from my grandmother, so.
Okay. Anyway, so.
But go ahead and get into the production history really quick.
Yeah, so there really is three things to highlight here. Just okay, so obviously '98 bad Godzilla film.
Yes.
The Toho guys, the guys that own Godzilla. They they make the properties. They make some good Godzilla films. You probably need subtitles for, but they make good Godzilla films. Just Godzilla fighting monsters, yada yada. And people rejoice. It's fun stuff. Just Godzilla as a hero fighting the bad monsters. Yay!
Subtitles always are better than dubs.
Pretty much.
Always.
And then basically Toho said we're not going to make another Godzilla movie for 10 years in 2004. And but then Hitches came into the mix. There were some problems, and essentially in America we wanted to redeem ourselves for what we did to Godzilla in '98.
That's a lot of fish.
Yes, and it's a lot of fishy failure too. So It's like, it's like, what if, I was gonna say, what if we dishonored someone like Batman? We did that with Batman and Robin.
Oh God.
So essentially, they try to make amends, and they get the rights. A big battle with Toho over the rights for many years, and then basically Toho agrees to very protective terms, which I'll get to in a millisecond here. However, not a millisecond, but a few seconds. Anyway, so they hand it off to a few writers. A lot of writers get the passes on it. The director Gareth Edwards really headed the production. In Godzilla, he stayed true to what people like about him. And our two main writers here, the two writers to highlight the reason I think this film is interesting. Frank Darabont.
Yeah, right, sure.
Yeah, Frank Darabont, he's a writer of like Green Mile and The Majestic and some Stephen King stuff.
Don't forget Walking Dead.
Yeah, also Walking Dead, yeah. And he essentially he did the final draft, and also he got this guy who started, I believe, David Callum, who he worked on the X-Men. Notably, the point is that these two guys, they brought in that human element, and like
and the human element is.
Well, I mean,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, they decided on the focus on the human element over really just the huge monster. Like I believe David Callum, he's the guy who did like a lot of the research, saying like what would happen during like a disaster of this monster fight on the ground level, like what would people do to stop this sort of thing. He did the research on that sort of stuff. That was good for him. And sure. Darabont, because he films like Green Mile and Majestic, he really focused on that human element,
right?
And trying to highlight that like what's happening during the midst of all this chaos. And Toho's terms were pretty much actually, sorry, I'll get to real quick after that. But we had great score for this film. It was really good marketing. The fun Godzilla commercials.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, the marketing was insane. Oh my
God. Very
God.
good marketing. Nothing
one
really.
Of the best marketing campaigns I've seen compared to Spider-Man's, which is one of the worst.
Very true. I mean, I love like the little commercial of Godzilla getting fed the Snickers bar or something.
Right.
And also, very little is revealed in the trailers, so good for them. We got a grade A cast. Ken Watanabe as Dr. Serizawa. Bryan Cranston as Joe Brody. Hold that thought, Tiki. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Ford Brody. And Elizabeth Olsen, again, we got Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Man, that's a good. As Elle. And anyway, so Toho's, I'm getting into the film real quick here. So Toho had very protective terms, and essentially their very strict terms were just the opening of the film. Everything in the opening of the film is their terms.
Okay.
It had to showcase the origin of Godzilla. Had specifically take place in the 50s. 54 ran that testing.
Right.
And pretty much the 99 stuff also. Like that all that pretty much up to the 99 stuff is
that
all.
That was like one of the few things that the 99 one actually got right.
Oh, yeah. Do you mean like when I say 99? Yeah. What do you mean?
I mean the Godzilla the 98 one.
No, I mean 99 in this film. Like when it took place in 1999. Remember
right. I'm sorry.
No, I mean you're. So that's it. So they basically said,
That is one of the few things that the shitty 90s one did get right, was that they did start with atomic testing over footage of lizards.
True. And it's kind of funny that the film does showcase, like, in the specific year 1999, I guess that's a barb against the original film, saying, hey, we're taking this 1 year after. I don't know, it would have been better if I think it would have been more of an inside joke if they actually had it in 98.
In 98? Oh, my God.
It has to sync up to 2014. So it has to be 99. Would have been funny, though, if it was 98.
Oh, that would have been great.
Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much just the overall, like, what you going into the film.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to the recap, but our monsters are the Mutos.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start with this then?
Well, do you want to start with the obvious kind of spoilery stuff, or do you want to save that for kind of the end?
Well, I don't mind going through spoilers if we're not going to do the recap, so might as well.
Okay, well, just so you guys know, BlueDragonFive, you like the movie overall?
Overall, yeah, I like the movie. It was fun. It had a lot of cool stuff in it. It was good.
Yeah, overall, I definitely went into it with kind of bloated expectations, especially because the director kept talking about how much he was going to do it like Jurassic Park and Jaws, but...
Oh, I did get a Jaws vibe.
I will say this, the movie was good, like, it had really good elements to it, but it definitely disappointed me. It definitely was not as just great of a film as I was anticipating. So with that all in mind, spoiler corner has begun. So yeah, if you don't want this movie spoiled, just leave right now.
Well, can I say this before we get into spoilers?
Sure.
Well, essentially, yeah, I loved how reminiscent it was of Jaws. How they had a lot of build, and I love how they play with scale. I love how they play with scale, and I love how that's reflected in the score.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, sure.
Those moments I love. I like the nods to the classic stuff. Even I like the idea of them naming the monsters after I don't know what it's going to do if they ever do any future films, but like how Muto stands for the unidentified monster.
Okay, well, do you want to get into kind of the big main spoiler thing that I have a feeling is going to be the main thing that people are going to be talking about with this movie?
Is it Cranston?
Yes, it's Cranston. Walter White dies after 5 minutes.
Can I walk him through Cranston?
Sure. Walk us through the disappointment that was Cranston.
Okay, well let me say this. First of all, I loved Bryan Cranston when he was in the film.
Oh yeah, certainly. When he was in the film, he was wonderful.
As I mentioned with Toho's agreements, Toho's conditions, just now at the opening, basically all that stuff up to when the wife died, that's all Toho.
Okay, cool.
So which is good, because I love that opening scene. Yeah, I know we saw it in the trailers, but even if it wasn't trailers, it was still just it dawned. I feel the scale. I love feeling that scale and that Jaws kind of suspense and build.
Right, and especially that scene where Cranston closes the door.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
That scene affected me in the trailer, but just seeing it in the context of the actual movie is just even more horrifying, because he closes the door. And it's an empty hallway. And then the camera pans to his reaction, then it pans back, you hear the knock. Oh god, that was actually kind of a Breaking Bad-esque shot, I dare say.
It was. You're absolutely right, T. It was a great... I don't know if it's my favorite scene, but it's definitely up there. It's a really... It just shows you that... I think it would communicate so much. Communicates this film is going to be really... I mean, maybe more so for me than you, in the grand scheme of things. It just kind of communicates this film is going to have these emotional moments even without the monsters. Or these moments are going to really wrap you up and stuff even without the monsters, or just in reaction to what the monsters are doing when they're not physically in the scene.
Yeah, and all I can say is that I wish that the rest of the cast was like that.
And you're saying the Cranston's thing, though, I mean, I gotta say, a very minor note, I don't want to sound mean, but I think his wife looked younger in the trailer.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't pick up on that.
Oh, it's just a little weird thing. It's like, didn't she look younger in the trailer? I'm saying it's because she had the head covering or something. I don't know.
Okay, maybe.
Anyway, silly thing. But the point is that, yeah, it was really emotionally breaking scene. He's running there. First of all, running awesome. He's running there and he's pushing. But I like the subtext. No subtext. I like the just the bit that he has to push that button to close things. There's a physical action to manually close that door, and he's gonna have to make the call. Mm-hmm. And the guy's saying, do it now, not until my wife gets out. And then then it's such a shame when she trips. She's not gonna make it out of there. Aside from the trailers, we know she's not gonna make it. I love just kind of that resonant, that sonic boom almost in the score. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, it's coming. It's almost like the Jaws music. Oh, it's coming. And then just seeing that steam train of steam heading towards Cranston, oh my god, he's got to push the button, and she's not going to make it. They're not making it. Yeah. And it's he pushes that button, and you can tell it pains him to no end. Cranston is a great actor, and seeing, you're absolutely right. I love that pan, hearing that tap, because it just dawned on me. Oh yeah, I mean, she's there. What about those other guys? Oh man, they're. And just seeing Cranston, I'm sorry.
Oh,
he didn't want to condemn these men. He didn't want to condemn these men. Then his wife saying, take care of the kid, and then the doors close, and that's the last time he sees his wife. I love that, and I love where it picks up with, years later he's obsessed with this thing because of that. Mm-hmm. I like seeing him he went a little crazy and nutty, and not crazy, reasonably. He's going Mr. Freeze level stuff here. He's obsessed with his wife. What happened to his wife?
Right.
And because of that, I love the idea of the scientist, this physicist, who he knows something's wrong and he's just looking for proof, and he's studying all sorts of science. He's very obsessed with this, and his son's the only one who can bring him back from the brink, and he actually sees his father at the end of the day is validated in what he believes. And it's kind of a touching father-son story.
Yeah, it would have been.
I mean, even the little bit we do get, it's a touching fight. The point is, the reason Tiki is so full of discontent here is because...
Oh, yeah, I was pissed. I was straight up pissed.
Now, Tiki told me, things were looking good for the longest time, like when they go to the deserted town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that scene and stuff like Cranston. He's smart enough to know. I love how smart they play him. Like, he's studying echolocation, which plays on big time. He uses the little radiation things. Say, oh, wait, the air's not toxic. This is all facade. I was right. And, yeah, I like that. I love that whole opening. The first act of this movie is really strong, if you ask me.
Definitely.
Like, I would say his death counts
because Cranston is still alive.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, he pretty much Cranston's still alive. But the point is that... So anyway, Cranston.
I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I'm saying
Cranston is the glue that holds this movie together, and after he's out of the equation, it just falls apart.
Hey, I'll admit Cranston and Watanabe are our best actors in the movie. Okay, I'll admit that.
But even Watanabe, as much as I like Watanabe, I feel like he doesn't have a character like Cranston does. I feel like with Watanabe, he was just like, I am here to spout cryptic dialogue.
Now. Okay, we'll get to Watanabe in a second. I'll wrap up on Cranston real quick here. And the point is, we're getting good stuff with Cranston. He has a really emotional scene where he's talking to Watanabe, Dr. Serizawa. I love just saying Serizawa. It's cool. Dr. Serizawa, he's talking to him through the glass. That's a really powerful scene, if you ask me. I really love that scene because he's like yelling, and he knows he's talking to him.
Yeah, that way it was very well shot. Yeah,
and I love how he... I didn't know it was behind glass when I saw it in the trailer. And,
I think they might have pulled something with that. I think they might have used alternate takes or something like that. It was really interesting.
Or they could have put digital glass in front of them or something.
Right.
But anyway, so it's a really great scene. He's saying, I deserve to know.
He's basically like taking the Heisenberg thing up to 11. It's like he's just running with it.
What I love so much, I love how he's right in the scene. Not just right in the scene. I mean, he's right about everything in the scene. Like, Watanabe's realizing that, oh my God, this guy's right. He was there. Mm-hmm. And he knows what's going on. And we're stupid for not listening to this guy. And he's like, he knows what's going on more than we do. I was thinking, Watanabe, we got to get him out of there. Let's talk to him. But then things hit the fan, and the moment that made us both cry. Well, actually, it's what just makes the moment a little worse, Tiki?
What?
It's the fact that they make it's a fake out for a fake out. That's what kind of depressed me, because first of all, I had the same reaction you did just now at first, because then the monster awakens, Muto,
It just...
Muto arises, and he causes havoc.
It angers me, BlueDragonFive. It angers me.
Well, what happened? Essentially, he breaks the runway, and I'm thinking the son sees his father fall to presumably his demise. And at first, I was thinking, "Oh no, he's dead! No, what happened? No!" And he was gonna team up with Watanabe. No. And then I was so relieved when I saw, oh, he's alive. Because then one night, this great moment where he says, "I need those guys. I need those men." And then he's hauled away, and he's talking to him, saying, "Oh, thank God, he's going to be okay. He's just going to fix his neck or whatever, and that'll be fine." And then he gives his great fatherly last words, as he says, put family first. And then I was thinking, oh wait, these sound kind of like last words. And then he said it was Paul's driving. Okay, just be a false alarm, please be a false alarm. And then the scene that drives it home. Even as a corpse, this guy's a good actor. he's being bagged up, and I realize, oh, he's being bagged up. Darn it. Cranston, then, the question that emanated in my head was...
What?
Well, I mean, he was the expert. If he's not going to team one night, what's the son going to bring to the table?
Absolutely jack shit nothing, which is why I really dislike the rest of the human element of this movie.
Believe it or not, I still like the human elements in this film. I liked Aaron Taylor Johnson. I did in this film.
Okay, I'm going to quote my Facebook post, BlueDragonFive. I'm going to quote my Facebook post.
Is it just going to tell me I'm wrong?
Basically.
Okay.
In my Facebook post, I said Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance is somehow simultaneously overly whiny and overly macho at the same time. How the hell does he annoy me on both those fronts?
I don't see what you're talking about, dude, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't see...
He's like overly macho and just like an oorah, let's just do anything to get shit done, including jumping out of a plane and just going along with everything. And the plot, he just does stuff because the plot tells him to. It's one of those movies where it's like, why is he doing this? Why is he jumping out of a plane? Because the plot told him to.
Well, I mean, it's to protect his family, though.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like, to me, it's like my priority won't be killing this monster. It'd be actually physically getting back to the family.
But I mean, that was his thing. He was getting back to the family. Then he finds out San Francisco's next on the docket. And then he sees, well, I mean, he's the only guy who can defuse the bomb, remember?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, great job, writers. Great job, writers. You made, like, the one defining character trait of your character the one thing that saves the day. Didn't see that one come in.
Okay, now look, let's be fair here. I'll admit I have my problems with this film, too. I do. Okay, I got my problems with it. However, the bomb thing, the way that paid off, it's even what you're saying, he doesn't even get to do his job, which does kind of bother me.
Yeah, exactly. It was... Okay.
However, I don't know. I think he still saves
no character.
He saves the kid. I like it when he saved the kid, and you get a sense of character there. Remember?
I'll give you that. I did like that scene. Okay, I'll give you that. That was the one time where I was like, all right. And the kid kind of reminded me of Short Round too. Because he had the cap and everything.
It is kind of look like Short Round. I don't know. I like that's an example of the human moments, like the kid who really wanders in there and he's separated. Like he doesn't know language, saying, "Oh, I'll bring him back."
Right. Okay. I will give you that. That was a decent moment.
Oh, I like the survivor kind of instinct, not survivor instinct, but I like kind of this. The kid's a survivor. He's enduring this madness of what's going on with these monsters, and he's not losing his cool. And I think that's kind of an interesting character trait.
Mm-hmm.
That he's literally looking these monsters in the face many times, and he's not losing it. And I thought that was kind of interesting about his character, and this is like the character he's surviving the worst experience of his life, facing it literally at the middle. But I think his father's words are echoing. Is kind of like the chance. These monsters have ruined his life, with the exception of Godzilla, and he's taken and turning into inner strength. Perhaps I could be stretching, but yeah, it's.
All right. I don't know. It's like, to me, he was just sort of like generic audience avatar who was there to move the plot forward. So.
I don't know. I saw some genuine character with the guy. I like just in the beginning. I think his best character moments were in the first act, along with that thing with the kid in the train.
Mm-hmm.
But let me think about it. I like the moment, just seeing the reaction with him and his father. His father was a little bit of a distant father because he's obsessed with the power plant.
It entirely reminded me of 2003 Hulk. That whole dynamic. Mm. And I'm not even saying that in a bad way, because that's one of the few things I liked about that movie.
Wait, man, I loved, again, I told you, I loved it when they went back to the old house, and then they started to see the happy birthday thing.
Happy birthday, right.
No, I like Cranston's instant regret he feels after his wife says, "Oh man, this is all my fault." Or not just all his fault. I'm saying like there was something hidden here, but I mean, I should have been there for her. I mean, I should have pursued this more. He's like beating himself up for stuff that he couldn't control.
Sure.
But he does wish he was more in the moment with things, I suppose. I don't know. I like that, but I like just the whole idea of like he was a little bit of a distant father. So this guy's not a distant father. He's kind of the opposite of his father, and he's resilient. He's reticent to help out his father in Tokyo, which propels things forward.
I will say this. I actually did enjoy Elizabeth Olsen in this movie.
Yeah, she was good. I liked her. I like
her more than I liked Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I thought she was a good female character. You know, she's not.
Right.
I mean, she was a strong female character. She was a mother. She put her child before her own safety, and she helped people.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I don't think she had like much in terms of like being like, oh my god, a super layered, complex character. But this isn't a movie like that. You know, this isn't a Nolan movie.
They kept it simple enough with her that, you know, she is definitely concerned, but there's not much she can do, and she realizes that. So she's not going to be overreacting. She's no Scholar White.
Kind of like almost an Ellie Sattler from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, perhaps.
You know, kind of. I mean, she's active, she's involved. She's not the deepest character, but she's definitely in the mix. You know, definitely got a protective soft spot for kids.
Yeah. I love the scene where she says goodbye to her son. I love that. And she says,
yeah.
Remember, this is mommy's friend. She'll take care of you.
That was good. That was good.
I'm saying, I don't know. I like the acting, but we didn't have many people in the. Yeah, we had a kind of a small cast for this in the grand scheme, aside from the thousands of fleeing people, and I thought they all turned in a good performance. It might just be me, though. You want me to get into some stuff I didn't like about the film, so we're not just one-sided here?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, here are some things, at least things I want to bring up. Maybe not. Okay, so we just mentioned, you know, Joe Brody dying, or Cranston, just to call him simply Cranston. Yeah, of course, that was kind of a thing because it's not so much that he. It's not so much that he does. There's so much potential with him, but I think in the grand scheme of things, though, it's not a problem because they do. I think the son kind of justifies. I'm saying yes, Cranston would have been so much better if he was in the film.
I mean, especially because, like you said, you have that great shot of, like, Watanabe, like, I need those two, and it's like, oh, Watanabe's gonna team up with Walter White, yay! And it just never pans out.
I guess the intent of the filmmakers was we gotta motivate this guy, we gotta mold this guy into more than just Clay, our Aaron Terrell Johnson character.
Yeah, well, I think they failed.
Look, just follow me.
Okay.
They intend on molding him into something more, and they have to do something dramatic. They gotta get and this is their mindset. I'm not saying it's the mindset.
Right,
so
right.
We get rid of the father. We give him some layers, and the father's last words: "You take care of the family." That's going to be his main drive throughout the film. Be there.
You know what else I didn't really care about this BlueDragonFive? You know what else I kind of thought was kind of poor about the Cranston thing? Not to harp on it too much.
What?
It literally happens like 5 to 10 minutes after Cranston's wife dies, and it's like, to me, it kind of just takes away from it as an emotional moment. You know what I mean?
It says 15 years later, though.
Yeah, I know. I don't care about the 15. In screen time, it's like those two deaths happen like right on top of each other. So it's like, I don't know. It's like if they were to kill Cranston, fine. Kill him in the middle of the second act. Give him at least a little bit more to do.
I'll admit, you know what I was expecting? Again, my expectations going into this film were completely wrong. I expected Godzilla to be the monster destroying everything like the original film.
I mean, that's what they were selling it for. They were really careful to keep the Muto thing out of the trailers.
We'll get to that in a moment, though. Godzilla's role in this film in one moment. But yeah, I was expecting like him to be like kind of that one guy in that original Godzilla film where like, he stands in front and gets blasted.
Oh, okay, right.
That's what I thought was going to be Bryan Cranston. But I thought it's how he was going to go in the second.
You're going to send us back to the Stone Age!
Yeah, something like that. I thought that was going to happen in the second act.
Runs up to, because only Walter White could run up to Godzilla himself and verbally confront him.
I am the one who destroys Tokyo. But regardless, thing with the I don't know. I think the thing that saves it with Cranston is that he has so much character in very subtle moments. That's pretty much attributing to how good an actor Cranston is, though. Like I love the moments where he's walking back in the apartment. We see like this apartment's been just a man obsessed lives here, and he's saying, please don't move that like a certain way, or like he pours some things like saying half the family, the simple stuff like that, just acting in a mirror in a reflection on the window. I'm saying I think he had a lot of definition. That's just because they got such a good actor to play him and do a lot with him. That kind of gave, even though he doesn't have much screen time left, it gives him a lot of dimension and depth.
Yeah, I'll give you this. I think he has more screen time in a movie like Argo, but he definitely makes a bigger impression in this movie, like, for sure.
Overall, let me say this. I think he would have made the film a little stronger had he been around longer,
right.
But I think even with what we have with him, the impact he left does motivate things forward. I will say one thing. I do wish he was the one who discovered Godzilla.
Yeah, it's like it just seemed to me like throughout the movie, it's like they were setting these characters up to do things, and then it would happen differently.
Maybe because I didn't expect, because again, Muto, I heard there was some sort of flying monster. That's pretty much it. Maybe they dived into the water or something. That's all I knew about it.
Right.
And that's pretty much all I knew, and so I thought, okay, so Cranston's gonna be the guy who. This nuclear thing happened, and he killed his wife, and he's thinking, okay, what is this thing? He's going to find out it's Godzilla. That's what I thought was going to happen. That did not happen.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it still would have been nice if he had at least something in regards to Godzilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cranston, I don't know. I think what little we have there, he still does. It just shows you how strong a performer Bryan Cranston is. He does impact the film in a big way, and he does kind of, I think emotionally, he kind of has these waves that do impact the film.
Right. I'll agree with you there. Yeah.
I'll say that much in regards to the other two main things that kind of concern me with the film. Not concern me, it's not things I want to talk about. So yeah, I'm not sure Godzilla was enough of the focus to warrant his name being on the film.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I think that.
I gotta say, that's
I think if we're gonna get into this, I think bringing Mutos in were really kind of a bad call.
Well, let me say this in regards to that. Well, first of all, sorry, sorry, something in my throat. The thing with Godzilla being the main focus of the film is that. Sorry, I've lost my thought. Go ahead, talk about the Mutos.
Okay, so the Mutos. First of all, I just do not like their design. Like, they just feel like something that came out of Loki's black hole during the Avengers. It's just generic, you know what I mean? There was really nothing there to kind of make them stand out for me.
All right, I'm sorry. I remember what I was going to say about Godzilla. You mind if I...
Yeah, sure.
So the main problem with Godzilla is, he's talked about in the first act, and he does appear in the second act as, like, spine. As a spine.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the way. I'll give it that. Like, I was going into this totally expecting Godzilla to not have a lot of screen time. That was something that I was going in with, was totally okay with. Because for the best of movies, Hannibal Lecter's only got like 12 minutes of screen time.
And again, I love the Jaws vibe that's in this film. And
exactly.
Even with Godzilla. Don't get me wrong, I love how they played Godzilla when he was on screen. I love that. I love that. However, I will say this much. Two things about Godzilla I think might rub Godzilla fans the wrong way and just kind of made me question things. I didn't mind it. It just kind of made me question things. One, they have the great monster fight in the second act, but it's kind of glazed over, as in they're just saving it for the third act.
I appreciated that, and that's I totally understand that's a moment that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
That's what I'm saying, Tiki. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that, it's kind of a smart gag, saying these monster battles.
I thought it was really clever. I thought just artistically it was just like...
I'll say this much.
The director just being really cheeky with us.
I'll say this much, though. When I was watching the film, I was worried that, okay, that's a funny gag, but if they do that again in the third act, if they don't have a big monster fight again, like a genuine monster fight that's happening while stuff's going on, like we do get in the third act, thankfully, that's going to be a huge mistake. That'll be a huge mistake if they don't do it at all. But they did in the third act, so it's fine. Yeah. So, I mean, just a little thing right there. So, but mainly it kind of ties in my main thing about the film. Godzilla's talked about, and Watanabe does sell it, in my opinion, but the problem is Watanabe doesn't get enough scenes.
I totally agree. I think Watanabe, it's like, with everything Watanabe does, it's like he's really good. I just don't think there's enough of a... and I think his character could have been really fascinating. Like, this guy who's, like, kind of just an expert on this kind of, like, mutated, radiation. It was an interesting idea for a character, but it just didn't get fleshed out enough.
Well, remember, Tiki, the Dr. Serizawa, he's a huge part of the Godzilla mythos.
Oh, okay, yeah. I am... That's what you call a casual fan, because I did not know that.
Yeah, he's like Godzilla's best pal, essentially.
Oh, okay. I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, he's the guy that discovered him, essentially. So pretty much that's. I'm not saying Cranston had to discover him, but he had to have like the realization that it's Godzilla's. But in the grand scheme, the point is, the thing is, Watanabe does sell it. And I believe Watanabe he's saying, Godzilla, he's like a god among men.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, it's like...
And I'm buying into it. And the problem is, Tiki, it's simply this. He mentions Godzilla, he builds him up in the first act, which is good. And in the second, he's still seeing it through, which is still good. Just saying, our other option is let the monsters fight. Godzilla will win. But I need more scenes of just him. First of all, I want to see why he's so obsessed with Godzilla.
I hear you.
You can still hear me?
Yeah.
Making sure. Yeah, so, he's invested in Godzilla, but I need it to be more about Godzilla. I need to know a little bit about him, like...
And then you also have, like, the Juliette Binoche character, who's just, like, his little... Or, I'm sorry, is Juliette Binoche the wife? Oh, God.
Yeah, I think Juliette Binoche might be the wife, but I could be wrong. Are you talking about his assistant, though?
Yeah, his assistant, yeah.
Yeah, I liked his assistant. She was good.
She was fine, but again, it was like there was like really nothing to her character, and I thought they could have done like some exploration into, you know, like their relationship, not necessarily like their relationship like romantically, but you know what I mean, like their relationship as colleagues.
A prime example of some of the stuff they could have done with Serizawa is that there's this great moment where he's talking to the general, or the general, the admiral, or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
The main military guy, and he brings out the watch, his father's watch that stopped the exact moment of the bomb.
Oh yeah, right.
Now, I mean, that's a prime example. That kind of, I'll admit, that communicates a lot just within a little scene with Little Doug. I like that scene. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't change it for the world. However, I would like a payoff to that, like later on, like he's telling him the story of like why he's obsessed with, why he loves Godzilla, or like why Godzilla is kind of a hero, because he's going to be a hero in this film, which we'll get to in a second. But you know, why Godzilla's a hero in the film, but I don't know, Godzilla, he's not present enough to warrant him being in the title. He's mentioned, and I'm sorry, I keep belaboring the point here, not on purpose. But it's simply that if Godzilla's going to be such a big part of the third act, I need to. He's not the focus, though. Godzilla's not the focus of the film. He saves the day, and he's mentioned.
I actually thought it was kind of silly, the fact that they just keep cutting to him and the military's following him in the water. Did you not think that was just a little bit like, oh yeah, by the way, Godzilla's in this movie, see, there he is.
I know, the thing with, it's kind of funny, that scene where Godzilla's swimming and the military's around him, it's kind of funny. That kind of communicated to me visually that, oh yeah, Godzilla's going to be treated as a hero, and it's kind of like they're his pals or something.
Right, and I didn't think that was really...
There's definitely tension there between the two, but I'm saying it does look like they're friends. That's the main thing. It's like, Serizawa's selling him like, oh yeah, Godzilla's a good guy. He's like, Serizawa is essentially Jim Gordon to Godzilla.
Oh god.
Essentially, he is. Think about it. He's like saying, oh yeah, Godzilla's good. We got to put our faith in this guy. And they're saying, no, he's a giant monster. And I need that in the second act. I just want them to sell him on it a little more. Just kind of see, like they're at the end they call Godzilla the king of the monsters in the press, and like everyone's going nuts for Godzilla. And I like that, but just sell me a little more on it. Like give me a little more invested in Godzilla. Like just mention, like give me some information on him in the second act. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally hear you.
That's the missing blank for the film overall. I mean, otherwise it's the Muto film with Godzilla saves the day. But you can't call a film Godzilla if the film's not about him or really about the damage he's caused.
I hated the fucking Mutos. I mean, I'm just not even gonna beat around the bush. I like the EMP idea with them. I really like that. You see, to me, it's like if you're gonna have monsters for Godzilla to fight, and you fought so long to get the rights to all these Toho characters,
you would have gone like what's the name?
Rodan.
Which one's the three-headed one?
Ghidorah?
Yeah, Ghidorah. I like that one.
No, I wouldn't have gone with Ghidorah right away. I would have gone with something kind of simplistic, like a Rodan. Because Rodan is just like, kind of just this flying monster. And I think they even, like, it annoyed me because it's like, one of the flying Mutos actually did have kind of a passing resemblance to Rodan, but it's like they never call him Rodan. It's just, I don't know, it annoyed me that for as colorful of a lineup as the Toho characters are, they made the most generic enemies they could.
Personally, I like Mothra, but I mean, they're kind of buddies, so I don't think that works.
I feel like, I really feel like they're holding out Mothra for a sequel. I really feel like Mothra is kind of their ace in the hole if they want to do a franchise.
Well, I got something about the sequel I'll tell you later, but...
I'm sure you do.
Anyway, so yeah, the main thing about this I really want to talk about is that Godzilla is treated as a hero, and I like that, but I think as we kind of talked about, yeah, it would have probably been better if Godzilla was the main threat and you kind of got rid of the spare... I think it could have worked if you got rid of the spare monsters, but I don't think the spare monsters really hinder it that much.
It was like, oh, look, these random generic monsters are attacking. Yay, Godzilla's going to say, and that is just not the movie we were advertising.
Let me ask you this. How would you like this? If we got rid of the second Muto and just Godzilla fought this thing in the third act, but you didn't have... It had that second one been taken out of the thing, so basically the whole Nevada fight would be taken out.
Okay.
But if that happened, we might get more character stuff with Godzilla in the second act.
Yeah, you see, it's like... First of all, it's like I just do not I just can't see the logic in not doing a Toho monster. I just don't. To me, that's just like such a blown missed opportunity. It's like if you're gonna give Godzilla something to fight, pull from that catalog.
Well, that's what I thought, Tiki. So you're telling me Muto is not an original Godzilla creation?
No.
I mean, you're saying Muto is not.
Muto's is like
new,
a Hollywood creation. It's like, hey, let's give them something generic instead of something that's actually from this thing that we bought the rights to.
Now that's interesting, Tiki, because I thought that Muto was an original one just brought to screen, and that's why I thought the name thing was clever. So you're telling me that's a no, then?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Mutos is
well, it is kind of baffling then. Why didn't they go with an original? In that case, I thought it was just.
Okay. And to me, it's like, and people were saying like, oh, well, the flying one, it's Rodan. It's like, no, bullshit. It's not Rodan. It might vaguely look like Rodan, but I'm sorry, it's not Rodan.
I like the science of the film. Can I say that?
Yeah, I agree with you.
I like regardless of whether the monsters are approved of or not, I do like kind of the idea of like getting them all there to fight in San Francisco. Like they use echolocation to mate with each other, and that's why they're traveling.
Sure.
I like that.
And basically, like,
and if we are going to have
Godzilla just comes up because he's pissed off that these people aren't letting him sleep. I mean, that's really the whole plot of the movie.
That's an interesting thing about Godzilla, because the question is, like, how conscious is Godzilla? Like, is he actually genuinely trying to save the day, like, save these people?
I don't think so. I think he's just like, fuck off and let me go back to sleep. I literally think that's what it is.
I'm thinking it's three things, but you're probably right about that one, though. It's either
there's like the most animalistic response, right?
It's either I want to. It's either A, I want to sleep. That's probably the case because that's always the case with him.
Yeah.
B, it could be like maybe that's kind of the question of humanity within this big beast. Like, you know, he does want to save the people from these monsters. Or C, the C's a legitimate possibility. He can sense the radiation in these things and he wants to stamp it out.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like he just sense he has the need to destroy radiation-affiliated creatures.
Right. I just think that any sort of implication that Godzilla gives two shits about the human race kind of defeats the whole purpose of the ad campaign, which was like, holy shit, look how much destruction Godzilla is causing.
Like maybe the Godzilla hates radiation, and that's why because he was bombed with radiation in those flashbacks, and that's why he hates it, and he attacks things that are irradiated. I
will say this, I did think that the Godzilla character was actually a good character and not just a CGI creation. You know what I mean? Like, they really did a good job of humanizing the thing.
Yeah, they did. Again, it kind of made me raise that question, like, how conscious is Godzilla? Because he has these moments of, like, emoting, and it makes me think, man, Godzilla does have a soul, and maybe he has a brain.
Right. I hear you. And
I love, my two favorite shots in the movie.
Oh, God.
I love when he emerges from the smoke. It's like, you're going to laugh, but I like, they treat Godzilla like Batman. I like it. It's like, you know, when he's there.
Godzilla is a little bit more badass than Batman.
Well, hey.
I'm sorry. He's a 50-foot giant fucking monster.
That's no excuse.
Batman is just, I know Batman is not a mere man, but he's not a 50-foot reptile.
He may not be a 50-foot reptile.
Who would win in a fight, Batman or Godzilla? Come on.
Oh, come on. We're going to be here all day. We go into that.
But Godzilla would just, like, stomp him. It'd be over. I don't care what crazy gadgets Batman has.
He could drop a satellite on him. Point is, look, Batman wins even when he loses. We know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would find a way. He would like ruin his DNA or something.
God.
The point is,
right.
He would stop him in the future if he died. So yeah, he'd probably die, but they'd be a stalemate. Point is, anyway. The point is, I like however, as I just said, they're treating Godzilla kind of like Batman. At least in terms of reveal, it's like Jaws mixed with Batman almost in terms of reveals.
And it definitely had the T-Rex from Jurassic Park too, for sure.
Yeah. But in particular, I love how they built the reveals kind of like a Batman reveal, like, oh, but he's there, or like, oh boy, stuff's gonna. Like, he just appears out of that smoke in Tokyo. Not in San Francisco.
I'm sorry, I do love that moment when he appears in Vegas and then it cuts to the news footage. I'm sorry, just going back to that. I thought that was so clever. I thought that was just a nice...
Well, no, I think that one's Hawaii when they go back to the news footage.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Hawaii's the news footage. I think it's when they're playing the Devil in Disguise they're fighting, if I'm right. But
yeah,
you know,
you're right.
the thing that bugged me is that the music didn't go on during the fighting.
Yeah, it was like...
I love that sort of stuff. It's like Watchmen when they play the old music when that's
right, exactly. Sure.
Like, I would love that. Or if they're playing, like, Viva Las Vegas while they're...
Oh, that would have been wonderful.
Anyways, yeah, you got... actually, no, I'm sorry. Godzilla isn't there because he can't go that far on land.
True.
So, actually, he's not there. So, yeah, it's just them wreaking havoc. Still, it would have been nice to hear music.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Godzilla as a hero is... I still like Godzilla as a hero, and like he's doing subtle things like the military's firing on the other monsters, and like he's blocking the kids on the school bus. It's like a subtle moment.
It's like... Yeah, but again, it's like I feel like with this whole marketing campaign for this movie, it's like, oh my god, look how destructive of a force Godzilla is going to be. Like, Godzilla is going to lay waste to everything.
Hey, but I'll say that you're absolutely right. It could have worked that way, most definitely. And I think that marketing that way would have been good. But should we commend them for kind of going in another direction and still being for them? Well, Godzilla's a hero. Does that bother you?
Okay, yeah. It bothers me just based on the tone they were going for with the trailers. Just from the very first Comic-Con trailer onward, they were going with Godzilla is just something to be reckoned with. So it bothered me that they were...
No, it's kind of like a Mandarin thing with Godzilla. It's kind of like a Mandarin thing with Godzilla, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess, maybe.
No, I'm saying I'm with you there. It caught me off guard. Like, I thought it was going to be big. When they first, the moment that just informed me was just that first moment when they hatched the thing, when they were at the government base and they opened the thing, the big EMP cocoon.
Sure.
And what I thought was, and they took the head off. I thought they took the head off of the thing. I'm saying, oh, is that going to be like Godzilla? Is it going to grow out of that thing?
That would have been really interesting.
I know, I thought that's what was going to happen. I thought like the little head was poking out. I was like, oh my god, that's going to be Godzilla's. He's going to grow. Like, it's like baby Godzilla. They're going to homage that.
That would be crazy, dude. I would be totally down for that.
That's what I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to homage baby Godzilla because it looked kind of like a little head at first. But no, then it was just it was the giant Mutos, and I think, where's Godzilla?
Yeah. And to me, it's like, you know what pissed me off?
Oh, you know what was a cool idea though?
No. Here, hold on. I need to get this thought out. You know what pisses me off? Like, they go out of their way to not make this a CGI fest and to hide Godzilla, and that's all fine. But then they just go ahead and make it a CGI fest anyways with all the Muto shit they put in. That really bothered me. Because you know me, I really appreciate when they don't just overly use CGI. And I felt all the Muto crap was just an overuse of CGI, where this movie without it would have been so much better, so much more effective.
Yeah. Sorry. The monster... Sorry. Yeah, but I like Godzilla just doing kind of these subtly heroic things. Like, you know, he's saving the kids and he's doing the battle. My other favorite shot, aside from just him appearing in San Francisco out of the smoke, and just then he roars.
Of course.
But I'm saying I like just the silhouette though, the Godzilla silhouette though.
Yeah,
my second favorite shot though is when Godzilla. It's a wonderfully framed shot. Now it's kind of a weird parallel they're drawing in the film of our main guy Ford. You know, as Ford's like he sees destroying all the
There's character traits to Ford that you can draw from and make parallels to. I didn't know that. I thought he just disarmed bombs.
Funny guy. Don't be mean to him. He's going to be in the Avengers. Anyway.
Oh God, I know, and that's the thing. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson, so I was really I thought he could carry the movie, but to me, it just. But I digress. We've already gone over that.
Point is. It's a great shot. Like the parallels, as he's trying to save the day, Godzilla's also trying to save the day. And it's like, you know, he doesn't give up, and neither does the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the old Godzilla movies, from what I understand, they would do stuff like that. You know, like Godzilla would have like a rapport with the character before they died.
Right.
something along those lines. I'm not a big Godzilla fan, but I remember hints of those moments. Like Baby Godzilla had like the Godzilla's son had like some sort of adventure with some kid, if I remember right.
Something like that, yeah.
Anyway, point is there's this great shot of it while he's struggling, and then he kind of realizes, I gotta light those kids on fire. Like the baby Mutos on fire before they cause damage, which is a good moment. So yeah, it was a cool moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was a great moment though. After it's really cool. Like right after that, Godzilla saved him from like the angry mama.
Oh god. Right.
And it was a really good moment. But I love the shot where like Godzilla he's been like knocked down for a moment, and he's like looking, and then we see like as they're both knocked down, they're both in frame and they're both knocked down, and I think like turns around, and looks at him or something. And it's kind of like Godzilla saying, don't give up. I don't know. I like that.
Again, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about characterizing something that is essentially just a force of nature.
Well, I mean, it's subtle enough that you could argue it's just coincidence that he's not really emoting that much, he's emoting just like as a creature would, but whether one could argue he could be actually connecting somewhat.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, either way, it's a cool thing. I like how they got the classic Godzilla stuff like the atomic breath and the.
Oh god, yes, let's talk about the atomic breath because I thought it was the coolest thing in this movie.
That was like the moment in the theater where people cheer, like yeah.
Oh hell yes, of course.
Which did you think they were going to have it in the film?
I thought they would, but I was wondering. I don't know. As it got towards the end, I was like, are they going to do it?
The thing is that. When he roared, I was saying, oh, and he's like, I think he just one point just roared at the monster, and I was saying, oh, why isn't he using the atomic breath?
Right.
And he did it, and it was awesome, and it was blue.
And then they did it again.
Yeah, but no, they did it cooler again. Remember he breathed in. I'm sorry, what?
I said they did it again, and it was even more awesome.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh god, that was the moment that my theater applauded at. Was right there.
It's kind of neat how he keeps kind of saving this guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Again, one could argue just he's killing the monsters, but otherwise, maybe he's saving them. No.
I hope not. I genuinely hope not, because Godzilla doesn't have enough of a conscience to do stuff like that. That's the thing. It's like, to me, it's like I don't like when you try to add all these different layers to Godzilla, because he is just a force of nature.
Yeah. No, I'm just working with what they presented us with. I think if they're going to present,
I don't mean to be difficult. It's just like. I wouldn't mind this so much if the marketing campaign didn't so much stress, like, okay, this is just going to be, like, dark, bleak, like, Godzilla is something you do not want to be around.
They had a great shot of that,
Godzilla, like, saving people. It's like, no, just no.
And there are two ways to portray Godzilla, and they did do, like, a 180 in terms of which one they were going with.
In a way, they kind of managed to get away with a little bit of both, which I kind of applaud them for. Like, I will give them credit for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'll say this though, I think
Kick-Ass Godzilla fighting, and we also got like the Force of Nature Godzilla. But I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I'm sure the moment that they decided they're gonna go with Hero Godzilla was the moment they said, we should have a giant monster fight. That's the moment where they kind of decide we're gonna have to have Hero Godzilla. But
you see, I don't even think you necessarily have to have. First of all, like I said, I think it would have been way better if it was just one monster and a monster that we actually gave two shits about. But second of all, like, I think there's still a way to do that where you make Godzilla the main focal point of, like, holy shit, Godzilla is just causing a big path of destruction.
Well, essentially, we just wanted vigilante Godzilla.
Yeah, but
essentially, that's what we wanted.
I don't know, BlueDragonFive. Like I said, I'm just very conflicted with this. But can I just describe my favorite atomic breath moment?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
It's the second one, and it's of course when he breathes fire in the other monster's mouth. Oh my god, just how badass is that? Like, that to me is just Pacific Rim style, just visual porn.
Well, two things. Again, I love those Jaws. I love the Jaws moments, and there are so many of them. Just this the build and what you don't see, and like just seeing the sheer scale of Godzilla. Like his leg was like the size of that whole Hawaiian town.
Yeah, I hear you.
That was just that was cool seeing that. even just seeing like the water and the flood, like the real damage, like that father and the daughter running away during that flood was a neat bit, and the dog too. The dog just took off and broke the leash off the.
Except I didn't like the fact that they literally just run into a Starbucks and it's like, oh, we're fine, we have flood-proof glass, yeah.
Well, no, it was gonna crack in a second. You know it.
Okay, fair enough.
It would be awesome if that was a real thing, though, flood-proof glass. But anyway, the other I just love, in addition to the Jaws moments, like in a moment when they're on the bridge, and unfortunately the black guy dies, but when they're on the bridge, and then
the bridge is great, yeah, for
the
sure.
bridge scene was cool, the whole train and the bridge scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool, and that was such a Jaws moment where like the things like looming underneath. Like, you know, like the Mutos are looming underneath, and it's like they're hearing like the electronic feedback of the thing.
Right.
I like the idea. If we're going to have these monsters, the one thing they do I think is really cool is the electromagnetic pulse. I just like how they worked in the science of the electromagnetic pulse.
Oh, yeah, sure, definitely.
Essentially, that's what I like most about these creatures. Otherwise, yeah, they are pretty much generic monsters. They look kind of spindly, which is kind of cool, but the monsters, I'm saying the other monsters are cooler, though. I'm saying that.
People have been saying like the one that doesn't fly looks like the Cloverfield monster, and I kind of agree with that. Outside of the face is different, but definitely the leg structure is very similar because it's got those giant legs that kind of hold up kind of a small body.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know what would have been awesome is if they would have just like, I would have totally been down for a Godzilla versus Cloverfield movie.
Yeah, it's probably copyrighted though. That's probably why.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I liked. I didn't like that weird shot of like, it was a really gross shot when you saw like the embryos and then the one. That was creepy.
Right.
Like, oh, why are you showing me that? They're nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, there was a sex scene in this film.
Oh God.
Technically.
Oh God.
It's rather tame, but still gross. Regardless, yeah, the other thing along with the Jaws type moments where I love the sheer scale and the sets.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love the scale, as I mentioned. I love that shot with like the Ford and Godzilla behind them. And I love like the moments like later on. First of all, I love when they're all skydiving. That was in the trailers. That was such a cool moment.
Well, you knew that was going to pay off with just total visual eye candy of an aerial shot of the monsters, and it's like, yeah, there it is.
It was so great being in the eyes view of that guy, of Ford, and just seeing it through his eyes, like that the monsters almost nick him or something.
Yeah.
That just the sheer scale, just like seeing these tiny things go past these huge monsters.
But you know what another directorial choice I really like is that like there's definitely certain moments in this movie where you're just like practically yelling at the screen like, for God's sakes, tilt the camera up, tilt the camera up, but they don't. And that's just like, and you know the director is just like playing with you with that. You know what I mean? I love that, man. I love when movies can elicit emotion out of you, even if it's frustration, as long as it's deliberate. And I think with that case, it's very deliberate.
I wanted, darn, what was I going to say? I wanted, sorry, let me move on to what I was going to say. Anyway, I love the scale shots of like, there's this great shot when Godzilla like quote unquote dies.
Oh God!
No, I like the guy's head.
Talk about that, yeah.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about the bomb disarming. Then we'll get to that. Okay. So anyway, yeah, the thing is, my complaint with the film is also, I guess these complaints are more nitpicks in the grand scheme of things. Like overall, it's still it's fun. It's fun. It's okay. It's good. No,
that's
I'm sure a lot of people
like that's what I said when I went out. It's like, yeah, that was fun. It definitely had some awesome like, you know, like Godzilla kicking ass. But
I think it was a beautiful looking
film. It wasn't the thinking man's picture that I was hoping it would be.
It was good. I think it presents you with the ideas, just doesn't follow all the way through with them. But
exactly, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Overall, I think it was good. It was a stunningly visual film. I love that. I love the sets. My favorite set would have to be the abandoned city. Well, not the abandoned. I mean, like the abandoned town where they revisit it when it's all the quarantine town. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
That's my favorite set. I just love that set. It looks beautiful.
For sure.
But yeah, I love that show already. Anyway, so he's going to disarm the bomb, which kind of, I remember what I was going to say now. It relates to this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they got the flaw with the general's plan. The admiral guy, his plan. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tiki. His plan is, okay, so we have a bomb that is not the electronic, which is a smart plan. I like that. It's like an old dials. It's a dials bomb.
Oh yeah, right.
Which is cool. I like that. I like transporting it by train. That's a cool idea. It's all fine. However, so the options are there's two options. Option A, okay, so we launch the bomb to draw these monsters out. And what was the plan from there, Tiki?
I don't even know. At that point, I was just like so disinterested in, and I was just like, okay, yeah, we've got the bomb disarmer guy, and he's gonna disarm a bomb. Yeah,
at first, the plan was to detonate the bomb, and somehow
my story arc is complete.
Oh yeah, I remember now. I think it was you have the bomb that would lure them, and somehow the resounding effects would take them out without being absorbent.
Right. Which
or something
was just overly complicated Hollywood mumbo jumbo, but whatever.
Yes, I forgot exactly the specifics of that plan. The point is, here's my point. Regardless, we know that bomb's a big deal, and they're going to launch that. It's going to destroy a lot of the town, a lot of civilians, and yada yada yada. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Option B is Dr. Sarazawa's plan, which I would say is a smart plan.
Let them fight.
Yeah, let them fight. The point, Godzilla right now, he's a big, tough guy. We see just the sheer scale of this guy could actually contend with these two things.
Right.
Probably his chances are probably good, and then regardless, they're all going to kill each other most likely. And if not, then Godzilla's going to be our main threat, and we don't know how to deal with that guy anyway, so we're screwed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully he'll go away because he didn't appear until these guys appeared. So. Those are options.
Exactly what happens.
I'm thinking, well, pretty much just from the actual military standpoint, okay, so they let Godzilla take care of these guys, then we'll figure out something to do with Godzilla.
Right.
It's a better plan than what they have. My problem with the other plan, with the bomb plan, is this. So the general rejects the Godzilla plan, understandably, because, giant monster isn't going to stop giant monster in his eyes. Kind of understandable. The main problem is that he's saying, well, it's going to cause too many casualties. I'm saying evacuate the town.
Right.
Say giant monsters are only get them to go to the next state. They're heading to San Francisco. Leave the power on. They get drawn to San Francisco. You're going to lose the city regardless if the bomb goes off or if the monsters fight. Monsters fight. You get a few buildings maybe saved. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Rubble. Point is, the monsters fight. Everyone's if you evacuate everyone, where's the problem? Well, why even use the bomb? And then the bomb bites him in the butt, regardless.
Yeah, I hear you.
The monster steals the bomb.
Oh God.
Anyway, so is that Ford's big job is to disarm the bomb because he's the only one who could.
Of course, because that's his one character trait. Well done.
Okay. He has a family. That's his two character traits.
No, he has a family. Wow.
And 3, he's Bryan Cranston's son, so he's 3.
Yeah, that's like fucking Survivor when Russell Hance's nephew came on and his occupation was literally listed on screen, Russell Hance's nephew.
I don't know. I still think we're being a little hard on Johnson.
You can praise Johnson all you want. It's totally subjective. I thought he was bland as bland. Just bland. Okay. So anyways, his big plan with Disarm the Bomb. What bothered me is that, he's got this one job to do the whole film. Right.
Disarm the bomb, that's what the big third act's all about. He gets there, disarms the bomb. Fine, that's what we've built upon. I'm assuming everything's going to be all right. They're going to go that way. But apparently the monsters, they crush the thing so it can't be opened. I'm thinking, shoot the thing, open it.
Oh, God.
But it does, that bothers me, that just because it doesn't open, they can't disarm. But the idea is that it was destroyed, so they can't. And the bomb's still going, yet it's kind of wrecked.
Yeah, I hear you.
No,
I don't know. To me, it's like the whole thing with the bomb. I just phased out. I really did, because it was just like, I don't care about a damn bomb. I just want to see these monsters fight at this point.
They got to give the people something to do so we can still be ground level, but while the monsters are fighting. That's the whole thing, man. But anyway, the thing about the bomb, though, I kind of have to question if it's a good idea or not with this one thing, though. one could look at it kind of like a matchstick moment from Pixar.
Okay.
Think of it as, okay, so the guy has got a job to do, we're expecting him, okay, he's just going to disarm the bomb, everything's going to be fine, but no, two hitches in the plan here. Bunch of babies in this nest area, and two, that the bomb cannot be disarmed, so we're just going to go with plan B, which that one soldier kindly laid out for us, which good for that one soldier. Said, well, what's plan B? So, yeah, we're just going to put on a boat and get as far away, kind of Dark Knight Rises style, as much as we can.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the second plan, which I didn't think, oh, well, why do I have to go with that plan? So I kind of have to respect it that they kind of went like they pulled the rug out from under you, like, okay, we have to go with that plan, but then the electromagnetic pulse is going to stop the boat, so now we're all doomed.
Yeah.
I don't know, the thing I would have saved for me is, like, I would like it better if, like, he somehow found a way to disarm the bomb, like, when he's on his back, like, he said, okay, I'm going to get up here, see Godzilla fighting these guys, and like, bomb that bomb.
Right, yeah, I hear you. That would have been like, I mean, it would have been totally cheesy. Like, I am going to do the one thing that I've been established that I can do this whole movie.
It's just like, it doesn't look like it gets that far within like 5 minutes.
Exactly.
I don't know, that's the problem for me. Like, it would have been so much better if he disarmed the thing before he passed out, if you ask me.
Right,
but then you see,
totally hear you.
Well, there is a great shot that when he turns his head and he sees Godzilla, die after he saved the day, he passes out. Quote unquote dies. After he saves, they passes out, and then both of them pass out again, parallel there. Both pass out.
So you want to like save that as like the last thing we talk about, the Godzilla fake out.
Pretty much the ending, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, oh my God, I was pissed, BlueDragonFive. If they were actually gonna do that, I was just like, what?
It is like Dark Knight Rises.
I was just like, what? What? They're gonna pull an Emmerich. They're gonna pull a fucking Emmerich.
Well, what describe to us? So, what are you saying exactly? They're angry at the fact they brought him back, or that they tried to kill him?
No, I'm angry that I was angry in the theater when it was implied that he did die.
Hmm. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. When he survived, I was like. When he survived, I was like, all right, whatever. It's a little bit hokey that he's just, like, dead, and then he's just like, oh, I'm going to get up now. But it's like, it's whatever. I was just glad that he was alive at all.
I'll give you that. Let me say this. You do definitely have a point there. It is kind of pointless if you're just going to do that. But, I thought was going to happen in the theater, though. I thought, he's going to die, but then they're going to reveal that he's going to be back for future movies.
That is what?
Remember, Godzilla has a son. No, you don't like it?
That was the exact cliffhanger of the Emmerich movies. Fuck that.
Right. Well, Godzilla, that was different. That was like, he has like a whole bunch. I'm saying like they do like a legitimate nod to the fact he has a son, like literally someone's going to carry on the name or something. I don't know, maybe, I'm saying, I'm spitballing. I was going to say some sort of reveal, like, think about it, at the beginning of this film we had a really cool idea, where there was an original Godzilla.
Right.
At first, to be honest with you, I thought that's where they were going with it. I thought it was going to be this. I thought it was going to be that original Godzilla in the 50s died there. And they found the remains in the 90s, and I thought that little hatchling thing was going to be Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
That's what originally I thought they were going to do, which might be interesting, but I don't know. I thought if they're going to kill him, they're going to... maybe not son of Godzilla, but something along those lines. Like, they're going to bring him back somehow, but do it better. And, like, in the films, he died at times, and they brought him back with, like, nuclear stuff.
I think this film is
like, what if the government took the body?
Worthy of a sequel. I really do.
Like, what if the government had taken the body and did something that brought him back or something? I don't know.
Right.
Like, could that have been more interesting than Son or something?
Let me just say, I'm just glad that he just lived, because I would have wanted to see some contrived way to bring him back to begin with.
Yeah.
So let's just be glad that we got what we got.
You're right. It is, however, pointless if you're going to kill him and not do anything interesting with it. Like, I mean, saying killing him is kind of pointless if you're just going to do it. But right, that aside, it is kind of a cool moment when he comes back.
Yeah, it is, because it's like,
No, go ahead.
No, it is a cool moment because it's, it's just like, first of all, like I said, it's just a relief, but I don't know. And then he just gets back and did it kind of feel a little hokey to you that he just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm just going to peace out?
Well, no, that's Godzilla. That's a lot of fan reverence there for like the fact, Godzilla. If I'm correct, that's what he does in every movie. He walks back into the sea.
Right, sure.
Like that's kind of, I don't know. That's like the moment. Even though the whole dying thing is hokey. That's the only way to get him out in the daylight so all the people are around him. That's the real reason he dies. Just to get him around people so they can do this. I think it's a kind of a nice thing. If you're going to play Godzilla like a hero, I like how in the end, Serizawa kind of gets his wish and that people are kind of saying, yeah, Godzilla. And they have that thing on the poster, or not the poster, like the TV, the giant TV, where it says, Godzilla, king of all monsters. That's a nice little nod right there.
Yeah, and okay, I will give you this, BlueDragonFive. I will say it was very clever the way they kind of made Godzilla a force of destruction and a hero at the same time. That's not my main issue with this movie, so let me just make that clear. I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah. But it's nice now that Godzilla kind of gets his just. It's simple, but I like it. So he gets his just desserts at the end, where it says, "Yeah, he's king of monsters," and he walks back in the ocean like Godzilla does. Return if another monster shall return, or he just gets the need to destroy things.
Yeah, or hopefully he returns when they actually use some Toho monsters.
Yeah, that's a thing. He returns. I'm sure. Well, actually, there's I'll get into the plan for the sequel if you'd like me to.
Do you want to just do that really quick because
it's just one thing.
Kind of running on. Yeah.
Just it's one thing and a funny anecdote, and that's it. Just
sure. Go
ahead. The director said, "I don't want to do. I want the film to be exist on its own because I just want people to be satisfied with this before I even. No, let me finish." He said, "Ideally, it's been a long time since we got a good Godzilla."
Like I said, if you have all those great characters, why not use them?
He says officially. First of all, sorry. He originally said, it's been a long time since we got a good Godzilla film. We're going to bask in the fact that we did, and I want people to be happy about this film before I even think about doing a sequel. Like if there's like a demand, or maybe if it warrants a sequel, which I think it does. I think it does. Essentially, he's saying, let's see how it goes first. Let's see how it's perceived if we did a good job doing a Godzilla film. And in the future, he has an idea for a sequel. That's the thing.
Okay.
So he said he has an idea for a sequel. He said an idea he might like to toy with in a sequel. Again, assuming everyone likes the film and so forth, and then warrants it.
Right.
So it's not just like the 89 cliffhanger, the 98 cliffhanger.
God.
Sorry. And his idea is a really cool idea. You'll love this idea.
Okay.
Essentially, is basically a Monsters Island sequel.
Okay, so it's like just basically a whole island of Godzilla-type monsters?
Yes, the whole island of your Toho monsters, wouldn't it?
Oh, okay. So
am I correct in that? So Monsters Island...
I'm not sure, dude.
I believe Monsters Island is just all the Toho monsters, or at least a bunch of them on there, and that's pretty much what
just
everyone
like a
wants.
Big bunch of Toho monsters. Yeah, I'd like
my assumption. That. It's Monster Island. He said when he goes off in the ocean, maybe he washes up on Monster Island and fights some monsters. Maybe some guys walk up and they discover these monsters fight, and that's it. Maybe more of a Jurassic Park vibe if they happen on this island of monsters.
That would be really cool, actually. I'd really like that.
There's an idea, and it's a funny anecdote before we go. A real funny anecdote I saw. It just cracked me up. It involves Bryan Cranston. You're going to love it.
Oh, God.
Okay, first of all, Bryan Cranston, he says, yeah, this movie's better than 98. He did say that. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree. I had my problems with this movie, but it is certainly not as bad as 98.
And Bryan Cranston he said he signed on this purely because he loved the script for this. And I think he liked the idea that he died. I don't think he counted on how fast it was, but I think he liked the idea.
Right, like screen time wise.
Bryan Cranston plays characters who die, but you don't want them to die for a long time. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Like he dies in. Well, technically, due to time, he probably dies in Argo, but he dies in John Carter of Mars. He dies in Breaking Bad. He dies in this. He dies in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, the funny anecdote is that they're doing interviews for the film, and like little 2-minute interviews, like Fandango's doing interviews, and the interviewing guy ask him, it says, "Oh, so I heard," they're in on the joke. It's an inside joke. They say, "So, I hear you didn't get along with one person on the set. Am I right?" He says, "Yeah." It was Godzilla, wasn't it? "Oh yeah, I hate that guy." He takes up all. You gotta watch the interview, Tiki. It's hilarious. It's like 2 minutes. It's him complaining about Godzilla. Thinks he owns the place. He wants special.
Oh my God, that's great. I could totally picture it.
And then, it gets better, Tiki. Godzilla calls the interview guy on the phone.
Oh,
As
God.
some names have been said, he's very unprofessional. But when he brings it on screen, when he brings it on the thing, though, he brings his game. He brings his A game. And then Godzilla calls the interview guy on the phone. He says, I've been trying to get an interview with this guy. He hasn't called me back or anything. He calls it back. He says, hey, I'm here with Brian. And then Brian Crane's like, don't say my name. He says, no, I'm different, Brian. And then he's basically saying, okay, well, can we do this later? He says, what do you say? He says, nothing but bad things to say about you. Godzilla. So funny stuff, Bryan Cranston. So we end on a Cranstonian note. So at least Cranston has a blaze of glory to Godzilla. He's kind of giving him the Gustavo Fring security camera finger.
Indeed.
Killing them all. But overall, I again, Godzilla, not a big Godzilla fan, but this kind of impressed me.
Out of 10?
Out of 10, I would rate it. I'd give it. I'll give it an 8.
All right, I'd probably give it maybe a 6.5.
I'll give it a solid 8.
All right, like I said, it's a good movie. It's not. It definitely doesn't cross the line to being a bad movie for me. But there's just it's like when a movie elicits thoughts to me, I would change this, I would change this, I would change this, I would change this. That's just I don't know. When I'm thinking about that kind of stuff, maybe I'll respect this director's vision more once the whole Cranston's only in 10 minutes thing sinks in more. You know what I mean? Maybe since that's still fresh in my mind.
Maybe the marketing's not as good as we thought it was for this film.
The marketing was very bait and switch. I'll give it that much.
That's the thing. Doesn't that make it bad marketing if it's not telling you about the film?
At the same time, I can't blame them for... I don't really blame the marketing on this. I think they handled Cranston's character poorly in the writing.
Well, not the... Well, yeah, it is in the writing. You're right. I don't know. I could think of the acting. No, you're right. It is the writing.
Oh, God, no. It's not the acting.
I know it's not the acting. I'm saying, I'm trying to think, when he would... what would kill him and think, yeah, it is the writer's job to kill him. But yeah, very visually stunning film. I gotta say, for a first truly full-length Godzilla experience for me, I think it was a good one. There's some great emotion and pathos, if you ask. In my opinion, some great emotion pathos. It doesn't go far enough with it, I'll admit. Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, I liked him, but now I'm thinking about it. So he could have had more development, but I think what we got was okay. But Cranston, shame he's passed. Not the actor. Oh God. Shame. Dr. Ford. He's a physicist. Does that make him a doctor?
I don't freaking know, dude.
Anyways, Joe Ford. Yeah, Joe Ford was a good character.
Joe Brody.
Oh, did I say Ford? I'm thinking. Yeah, Joe Brody. Also, thank you for reminding me. I remember now. I was going to say. I think Brody might be a nod to Jaws, actually.
Oh yeah.
I could be stretching. That'd be an awesome nod.
No, I don't think that's a stretch. I don't think that's a stretch.
Rector said he was a fan of Jaws, and he was aiming for that sort of vibe. So maybe.
For sure.
But yeah, if Cranston was great as Brody, kind of a shame we didn't get more of him. I wanted to see him have a scene face to face with Serizawa that wasn't just behind glass, but
Right.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity, but overall, good. Overall, not a bad film. I'd watch it again.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, and I guess that's all we have to say about Godzilla. Any last words, BlueDragonFive?
Let's head back in the water.
All right, and and let's hope they don't send us back to the Stone Age. All right, see you guys later.
See ya.